Second Soup Supper speaker. Today we are really excited to have Teresa, Casey, and Lindsay from Florence Crittenton Services, which has a partnership with Florence Crittenton High School, and they're going to let you know about that. And just so you all know, they are the school that we are collecting for this Lent. So I did want to show something because a lot of you guys know we have our wonderful So Many Blessings group. And this last week, or I'm not sure if they did just all the last week, but they made 25 of these little hoodies that we are going to be donating to Florence Crittenton after Easter. So Barb Herbal Hendricks brought them to me. So yeah, so they 25 of them, all different. So I told them I would show you what they had done. So I'm gonna let Teresa and Casey and Lindsay introduce themselves and let you know, and then we will have some time near the end for question and answer. All right, welcome.
Cool. Hi, my name is Teresa. I am the Volunteer and Special Events Coordinator at Florence Crittenton Services. We'll probably refer to it as Flow Crit because it's a mouthful. And I think, yeah, we'll just introduce ourselves and then maybe kind of run through our history and talk about what the program does now, show you guys a video, and then open it up for questions. So.
Hi, I'm Casey Short. I'm the Development Associate at Florence Crittenton Services, and I have the really fun job of getting to give people tours when they come to campus. So that's actually one of my favorite things about my job is I get to kind of explore it with new eyes with everybody who gets to come to campus. I guess, you know, we haven't really said that we're a campus for teen moms and their children. So there's just so much to explore, so much excitement, so much life on campus that I love introducing people there. I also work with our junior board, which is a group of young professionals who kind of lead some of our more fun fundraisers. So we've had like paint and sip events. We do a Rockies game in the summer. Just some of those funner, lower entry point fundraisers there.
My name is Lindsay. I work as the Development Associate at Flow Crit. I also graduated from the program back in 2013. And Aaliyah used to attend.
She was the valedictorian.
Aaliyah used to attend the ECE with me when I was there, and I had Jaden shortly after I left. But it's definitely a life-changing organization in both ways, as far as graduating and now a career. So.
Yeah. So I'm not going to give you the full history because I want to save it for Casey when you guys come and tour, and that's how we start, and I don't want to take too much away, but we just celebrate our 126th anniversary, or this is our 126th anniversary year in Denver. Last year was our 125, and we had a really big gala celebration. It was obviously really, really exciting. But I mean, I think that's important for you guys to know that we have been around for a really long time. We've looked different throughout our history, but we've been in Denver as an organization working to support young women and their kids throughout our history. This year is our 35th anniversary at Denver Public Schools. So going back like 40 years, we were we functioned as a maternity home on West Colfax, and so we had women who would come to us when they were pregnant, you know, usually teens, come to us when they were pregnant, have their baby, often give their child up for adoption, and then go back to wherever they were from. And then for a variety of reasons, that was sort of a fading model, and so we looked around and we said, where's the greatest need? And the greatest need was still in education and helping teen mothers graduate from high school. Now, the graduation rate for teen moms nationally, so a woman who becomes pregnant before she's graduated high school, is 38%. And the graduation rate for their kids is only like 66% or something like that. And so we were looking at numbers similar to those in the 80s and saying, okay, there's definitely a big need here to help these women finish school and, you know, get them set on a path that for opportunity for them and their children. And so we started a partnership with Denver Public Schools. It was just like a couple teachers in a classroom in the back of Baker Middle School, and then we've grown from there. And now we're 35 years old in this model, and we have a full high school campus where young moms 14 to 21 can go to school, finish school. We have an early childhood education center that has 10 classrooms and can have, I think, capacity is like 110 babies enrolled, which is awesome. And our babies can be from 6 weeks when the mom comes back from maternity leave up to 5 years old. So basically until they go into kindergarten, which means that we can have our young moms for however long it takes them to get through school and have their kids. And the important thing with the model is that it is a two-generation approach, and that we're not only helping mom graduate from high school, but giving her baby the resources and the early head start to have a really successful school career of their own and raise their graduation rates. And I think if Lindsay doesn't mind, I think Jaden is a great example of somebody who was in our ECE and is now really doing awesome in third grade.
I think I'll speak a little bit to our partnerships before I hand it over to Lindsay to talk a little bit more about our staff and our experience on campus. But we are so proud of our partnerships, including communities like yourselves who really help us make it possible to serve our students. Teresa touched on our partnership with Denver Public Schools. So by working with them, they are able to provide the funding so that these students can get their high school diplomas, right? That's something that is constitutionally guaranteed to every citizen of our country, right, to get your education. We at FlowCrit are just helping to provide that support so that they can access that education, right? So providing the wraparound support services, providing the fundraising to do the early childhood education, to do the social emotional support, to do the family activities that bring everybody together and help create a fun family environment. So I think that just really was one of our first partnerships that speaks to the strength in working together to address community issues and community needs. We also are a very strong partner with Mile High United Way. We've been one of their partner agencies since the beginning, 125 years ago here in the state of Colorado. We're really excited to open up a Center for Family Opportunity on campus on March 1st. So that is just gonna be a resource center where mom, dad, extended family can come and access these services on our campus to help them succeed. We've seen when mom has people in her life who are striving to do better or who are succeeding, who are having these positive experiences, they're gonna do better. So we're really excited about being able to offer legal support for some of our families, whether that's through eviction services, DACA or undocumented people's needing immigration advice, domestic abuse situations. We're providing legal services for our students, empowering them there, also for their families. We're also providing English courses, so helping extended family members who maybe aren't able to speak the English language get those skills that they need. We're also exploring opportunities to provide GED for some of those extended families. That's still in the works, but really just looking at how can we really, go deep with this student and go deep with these families to really, help provide that village, help provide that stable beginning so that they can really live up to this potential that these women have. I am inspired every single day by the strength of our teen moms on campus, by the resiliency and the drive. Some of our students are traveling upwards of an hour and a half, 2 hours, taking multiple buses to get to campus. I mean, these students want these better lives for their children, and it's just so inspiring to see. So again, you can see why I would love to welcome you to campus. I really appreciate that you all are doing this drive for us, and I would just love to show you the faces that are really being impacted by your generous spirits today.
I think the video is ready.
Okay, we'd love to show the video, Ron, if we can. This is a compilation video of one of our current students, Leslie, who will introduce herself, and then one of our alumna. This was shown at our gala that we had last week on Thursday of I guess, 2 weeks ago now. Yeah, time is moving. But it's just really a celebration of where we are now and where these families are going.
My name is Leslie Carranza Abundis. I'm 16 years old and I'm supposed to be graduating 2020. I have a 1-year-old son. His name is Ezra Carranza. He's really fun. Everyone loves him. Everyone who meets him automatically just falls in love with him. I believe I got pregnant around 14 years old, so I had him when I was 15. My life now has changed a lot because I have to always think about if what I'm doing is going to somehow affect Ezra. I always wake up around 6 to get myself ready, and then I always get Ezra ready last because he's always still sleeping. I leave Ezra at the daycare here at the EC. I love the EC. The EC is honestly a big blessing. He's grown a lot more and he's really more social. In the beginning, he was really serious. He didn't really want to be around people. He only wanted to be around me and my family. But now he just sees Sole or Sierra and he gets so happy. He just starts smiling. So my schedule starts with the advisement. Then it's language arts, math, then the CTE class with kids tech. I love it here. I love my schedule. I love my teachers. I have a connection with all of them. I have a little bond with them. I feel safer with them. I could talk to them about anything, and here at school I always meet up with my friends at the lunchroom and then we always just eat together. We all love our little kids. I think of them as a family. I will usually stay after school. We usually always do volleyball, and I think we're gonna start doing a team. When I found out Florence offered gym, I was really excited because that was always my favorite elective. Usually my parents come pick me up, or if sometimes I will take the bus. When I get home from school, I start doing some chores. I usually go to sleep around 12 because Ezra takes forever to go to sleep. I always just reflect and say everything I'm doing for Ezra is worth it. Everything I'm doing is worth it. I really didn't want to give up going to school. I didn't really want Ezra to be the reason for me to not achieve my goals. Now my goals are to graduate, go to college, and study psychology. After I graduate, I want to come back and I want to help the school because it's helped me a lot. With the things that I can't afford for Ezra, car seats, and then the diapers, because diapers are expensive. You have to come here. You'll love it. It's the best. It's like heaven for teen moms.
My name is Tanisha Gomez. I'm currently 28, going to be 29 this year. My son's name is Nico, and he is going to be 14 next month. There's so many things that I could say about my son. He is very outgoing. He is very big-hearted, just like me. I couldn't ask for a better child. Right now he runs a group called No Place for Hate, where they really strive to stop bullying. So I found out that I was pregnant when I was 13. When we initially found out that I was pregnant, I was extremely scared, and telling my mother was even scarier. I was still growing up myself at that point, and I didn't really know how to take care of a baby. So I graduated in May of 2007 from Florence Crittenton. Florence Crittenton is extremely supportive. They advocate to be there to support you no matter what you're going through. They really make it a point to sit down one-on-one with each student to make sure that you are doing okay. It was extremely easy to get my son into the daycare, and they went as far as helping me apply for CCAP to pay for daycare. They did help prepare me for life after high school. They offered many parenting classes. I've been raising Nico on my own. I had to go and earn money to take care of my son. I was completely on my own. So that's when I got into the retail field. Started out as a part-time cashier. Pretty recently I was at Harbor Freight Tools. And that's where I became an assistant manager. And then I found ACE. The way that my day starts is we all kind of crawl out of bed at 7 a.m. I actually take my son and my nieces and nephews. They all go to West Early College right now. Usually after I drop off Nico at school, I'll come home and I'll get myself ready for work. As soon as I arrive, it's kind of hectic at first. I really reach out to other managers and other leaders on duty to kind of see where the day is, how, what projects we're working on. After that, I'm on the sales floor engaging with my associates. We're never in one spot, ever. I'm from the service desk to the paint desk to the front end, back to the paint desk. Typically I get home around 8:45, 9 o'clock, depending on when I leave here. Nico actually takes the bus home every day, and it is with his 3 other cousins, so Nico is home waiting to tell me about his day. He really makes it a point to say, Mom, this is what happened today. Mom, this is what homework is happening right now. So ultimate goal is to get Nico graduated and into a college within the next 5 years. There are going to be times where teens are going to think that they can't go on. I've overcome a lot in my life. And if I can do it, there's many other mothers out there that can do it as well.
But just a testament again to, the stories of our students and their success really speak for themselves. And again, it's made possible between the partnerships, the community members, the people who support these amazing students and all of their potential to help them realize it. So thanks for being a part of that. I think we're kind of ready for questions if we'd like to start there. Hand that one out for the questions.
Okay, so if you have a question, you can just raise your hand. I'm going to come to you with the microphone so that you can be heard.
That's a great question. Where is the school? The school is at, the school address is 55 South Zuni. Our address for the nonprofit is 96 South Zuni. We're really just across the parking lot from one another. There's just like a little traffic circle right in between us. So. And that kind of leads to the kind of format of this. I mean, you could see Leslie in that video with Leslie and Ezra. Leslie's over in the high school, and Ezra's in the ECE. They're just a courtyard away from one another. Leslie breastfed Ezra, and so she had a little restaurant pager that would page her out of class, and she could go over to the ECE and nurse Ezra and hang out with him, and then go back. And our young moms will come over for lunch and have lunch with their kids sometimes. And that being on the same campus is, I think, one of the reasons why this works really well.
Like Alameda and Zuni. So
yeah, sorry, Alameda and Zuni.
It said moms or girls and the children. Do you have some of the moms who are married? And if you do have any teen dads, what kind of activities do you have for them?
So some of our moms are married. They've made that choice. Some of them are over 18. In my situation, I was not married, but I was still with the baby's dad. We do have a lot that are single as well, and rely heavily on parent support or family support. We do have monthly family engagement activities that Teresa coordinates, and that's open to family members, whether that be fathers, grandparents, uncles, younger siblings, everything. So we do really try to engage the entire family, whether their father is involved or not. As Casey said, we did open the Center for Family Opportunity, so that is in the works to get GED for extended family and stuff like that.
Well, I'm sorry. I think I missed something, but so there is no residence now for pregnant moms, and that's the way it started, right? Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So it started
currently,
as a maternity home.
Okay. So now, all right.
So we've transitioned away from that. Housing is a really big issue for a lot of our students. I mean, as you can imagine, with the changing demographics of Denver, right, and even the surrounding counties. So it's definitely something that's always top of mind for us. And it's a place where we really rely heavily on partnerships. Again, those partnerships to help identify low-income housing or to help qualify for it. But no, housing is not a piece for us now. It's really just a campus support center where you can come and access the resources you need to both get that high school education and then succeed in your post-graduation path, whether that's college or, through our, and we hadn't even touched on our career readiness pathways. So that's a really big focus for us on our campus. Most of our students do have college aspirations, and many of them do go on to take some, whether community college courses or college courses. But for most of our students, it's not going to look look like that traditional path straight to a four-year school, right? I mean, those same issues of childcare, cost of school, I mean, is just higher than ever, not even just tuition, but everything around that. So we have really implemented a workforce readiness focus on our campus. What that started with was providing a CNA licensing program, so students could graduate from high school with their CNA license ready to start earning more money than they would as just a high school graduate. So that's something that we're really excited about. We also offer certification to become an early childhood education teacher. As you can imagine, that's very, enticing when you can oftentimes bring your young child to work with you if you're an early childhood educator. And those careers are also helping mom, maybe kids are still young, they're not in the full-time school. So they can go into these career paths and say, hey, I'm really interested in medicine. Maybe baby starts kindergarten or first grade, they have a little bit more time, a little bit more flexibility, maybe even a little bit more social and, money capital built up, and they're able to say, I'm gonna go for my RN license and go back to school. So a little bit off topic, of course, but I think that's something that we're really excited about. Those are both career focuses that are very service and in the health and caring sectors. So we're hoping to expand to include things like IT training or insurance or things that really appeal to a wide variety of students. Just trying not to assume that every woman on campus is going to go into a caretaking field just because they're a young mom.
I have a question about, there are homes for abused women, and some of those have children. Now, of course, when they're abused, they have to have a campus where they are protected. So obviously, they can't live or be too close. But do you work at all with those with abused mothers who then come to your classes?
I would say domestic violence is definitely an issue on our campus and across many communities as well. We are a very secure campus, so students are buzzing into either the high school or into the early childhood education center. Staff, we have multiple points of entrance, but there's only one entrance into our early childhood education center. So there's many precautions taken around that, and all staff is really identifying people that are maybe people who shouldn't necessarily be on campus. It kind of leads to an interesting point. A lot of people ask us, what about dads? Why aren't they on campus for school? And of course, young fathers need support just as much as young mothers to get that social and emotional growth that they need to be successful fathers and parents as well, and members of their community. But we just really value this as a safe space for teen moms. As much as sometimes that's one of the biggest reasons a girl doesn't want to come to school, it's like an all-girls school, it really ends up being this safe haven of a place that, these people who know your experience, yeah.
I think there's a lot of, I think a lot of our young moms have some trepidation when they first come tour or come to campus. A lot of it, and Leslie, I know her pretty well because she was one of our summer interns. And so I was talking with her this summer and talking about why she came to FlowCrit, and she was like, well, to be honest, I didn't want to at first. And then you heard what she was saying. It's heaven. I mean, she's like really changed her tune. And I think a lot of that has to do with everybody on campus is either in their position, so totally understands what they're going through, or has like completely self-selected to be there and is like there because our like number one goal is the support of our young moms. And so I think it's created just an awesome community of support and growth and bolstering and all of those things that now it's sort of it has a unique character because it is teen moms and their babies. So I think that's just kind of what I was trying to say. I think
I do have because that is a really serious topic, and I think it's important to mention that we also have family advocates. So every student works with a family advocate. I mean, of course, our high school partners, DPS, they have school counselors, right, who are largely focus on your academic success and planning out your academic future. So we at Flow Crit Services, part of our fundraising provides the family advocates. So that's essentially a caseworker for students, and this is a newer program on campus, but it's really giving somebody who is that social emotional support outside of the school day and really the rest of your day, right? The rest of your 16 plus hours or 12 plus hours in the day. So they are working really closely with students first, right, to gain that trust, right, so that they can create meaningful dialogues to then identify things like this, like patterns or behavior that maybe these students don't even see as potential, signs of abuse. And then through our partners, again, our amazing partnerships really, really are how we are able to really serve these students through our Denver Health Partnership and then Colorado Children's Mental Health Partnership. We have trained psychologists on campus 4 out of 5 days of the week. So family advocates are working to identify those students and then help them work with trained psychologists. And then on the other side, we have our art therapy class, which is the entry point for all students. So every student in DPS is taking a fine arts credit. Our students are taking art therapy with our amazing art therapist, Danica. And so that's another place where you would be really, I maybe you wouldn't, but I was so surprised to learn that so much comes out in those sessions, really just from asking questions like, draw me a picture that reminds you of your childhood, not mentioning anything about difficult circumstances or anything, really just asking an open question. And then Danica is able to see things and help them identify emotions and identify feelings and even identify experiences, like put words to it, which again is to helping to identify, like build those skills to then identify these possible like not good relationships. So there is work around that too, outside of just keeping it a safe campus. It's like the prevention and empowering part too. Yeah. Great question, thank you.
What is the current enrollment?
We're at 175 students, 125 students. We can serve up to 175 students. Like any high school, attendance is our biggest issue, and for our students even more so. So we struggle at about a 60% attendance on our campus, which really is our biggest challenge to face, and largely that lies around transportation and gentrification issues, right? Like if they're out in Adams County or Jeffco, and it's blizzarding in the morning or really snowing in the morning, or it's still dark in the morning, do you want to be waiting for the bus stop with your young child when you're maybe only 15 or 16 yourself? So that's a large piece of it for us, the attendance piece.
I was just interested in the type of courses you guys offer, specifically like in the STEM programs.
I don't think we have any specific STEM-related programs right now, aside from the CNA course and the MedConnect course, which is also like entry to dental hygienist and medical transcription and stuff like that. We recently, and I can't remember who mentioned it, but we last year had a graduate who was very interested in the STEM field. So we as Flow Crit Services took the initiative to enroll her in an off-campus course that she attended through Emily Griffith, I believe. And then she recently got a scholarship to continue on in her college course. So we definitely, with our post-secondary readiness coordinator, we identify students and their interests, I guess you would say, and definitely make accommodations to those.
Students are also, this is definitely not as much STEM, but students are based on their attendance. So if they're reaching a satisfactory attendance, which I believe is that 60% line, so it's not too unattainable for our students, they're able to check out a Chromebook and a Wi-Fi hotspot. So again, not really going into like deeper coding classes or things, which is something we would really love to find a partnership to do. Again, we're so reliant on partnerships. I won't be able to teach a coding class ever, but if there was an organization that wanted to come to campus and help provide that through our Center for Family opportunity. Oh my goodness, that we could get, the CEO, everybody on campus would be here in a minute to talk about it. But I think that that's like at least allowing for, and we have classes that are teaching like Excel basics. The Google Docs, I guess, is really the big thing that they're using in the school systems now. So that suite versus Microsoft, which we have contentions with, but and then we also, which is a little bit outside of the STEM world, I guess, but we offer financial literacy training through the Center for Family Opportunity, and again, that's for the whole family. So come, bring us your expenses, bring us your receipts, bring us just your app if that's all you have, right? Like if they're just using the debit card app, and let's talk about money, right? And like, so we have some of those programs in place now, but I think that is something that we're really trying to encourage on campus, especially because it is, a population that has so much potential and is so underutilized in the STEM profession. So we're excited and hopeful. So any ideas, please come over after.
But we also, just kind of back to your question, the high school is like a regular high school, so they have, like science and math and English and social studies. I mean, like just regular high school, but with a few other things like parenting classes and art therapy and Med Connect and stuff like that.
Okay, well, it gets a little bit what I was going to ask about, because I've heard you mention several times your relationship to DPS, but I don't quite understand. Could you explain a little more about how you relate to DPS?
Yeah, sure. So, so on the FlowCrit campus, there are 2 buildings. One is run by FlowCrit Services, and that's the nonprofit. That's who we work for. That is all of the wraparound support services, the early childhood education. That's where the parenting classes, where the art therapy classes, where the Med Connect classes. That's where the family advocates work from. That's where the Center for Family Opportunity is. That's, all of that stuff is FlowCrit Services. On the other side of the campus is a high school, at Florence Crittenton High School, and that high school is completely staffed and run by Denver Public Schools. So the principal and, her whole team is DPS. And so that, we talk about it as a partnership, but it's totally a partnership because it is definitely, it's like 2 big organizations running one program on a campus together. So, yeah, the high school is paid for. The funding for the high school part all comes from DPS.
So just for context, so DPS is providing a little bit over $2 million worth of funding to provide for that high school, like a normal high school would be provided for. And then FlowCrit Services, we're raising a little over $3 million a year to provide the wraparound support services. So really a giant endeavor that's made possible by like a lot of working together. And with DPS, we're coming together every 3 years to do a shared use agreement and just readdressing those terms with them to continue our relationship. So it's a lot of flexibility, a lot of nimbleness, and a lot of reintroducing ourselves to new education boards when they come on and they're not quite sure exactly how we operate together. So it's a fun partnership to get to explain to new DPS partners and new FlowCrit partners.
Anybody else?
I believe that teen pregnancies in Colorado are down. Is the desire or need for your services steady or increasing?
It's interesting. So we're going through a strategic planning process right now. We're calling it our Impact 2020 Plus planning, since it'll extend a little past 2020. But we're really digging deep we've hired some consultants who are doing like the deep dive on the numbers of teen pregnancy. And while it has gone down over the past 10 years, over the past 3 years of data that they pulled, so it wasn't probably including 2018, so it was probably 2015, 2016, 2017, it did not consistently go down in Denver, Adams, and then what is the county that Colorado Springs is in? Is that El Paso? El Paso. So, and El Paso has a very high teen pregnancy rate as well. But, and so while we would see maybe like over in the middle year it would drop down, we were seeing where it would come back up. I wish I had the slides because I love the data. Like we all love the data. It's really interesting because it is a question that we ask ourselves. It's a question like, you know, we need to, like if all of our students aren't able to afford to live close enough to get to us, right? What are we going to do? Like, is Flow Crit going to be able to serve anymore? So it is something that we're looking at. And while a goal is always to, you know, reduce unintended pregnancies, I don't think we're quite there yet. We're looking at the numbers, and there's 1,000 teen births, over 1,000 teen births in the Denver area over a 3-year period, and we're only seeing 125 of them in our school. Of course, many of them probably have support from communities like yourselves, their families. Maybe New Legacy, another school that serves parenting teens. But the reality is a lot of them are probably slipping through the cracks and going unserved. But we're doing the public policy work to make sure that we get to all of them.
Anybody else? Okay, go.
Is there anything that we didn't, maybe not a question, but that we didn't speak on that you are interested in? Yeah, I realized I haven't talked about the basic needs, which is what you guys are helping us with, so I thought that I should probably fill in that gap for you. So one of the things that that we also do and that falls under my purview is our basic needs store. We call it Baby Bucks. We call it Baby Bucks because the currency is called a baby buck, and that can be earned through attendance. So 80% attendance or above over a 2-week period will earn a young mom a baby buck, and then if her kid was also there at the same amount of time, her kid buck, and then those can be used to shop for new outfits, new toys, and diapers. But then we also have a lot of great community support and donations from individuals and organizations, gently used donated items, books, hygiene products, clothes for babies, clothes for moms, toys, baby items, strollers, all that kind of stuff. All of that is also in our basic needs store. And that all the gently used stuff is offered to our young moms on an as-needed basis. So, and then our young moms can come shopping twice a month. So they come during their lunch, and it's really fun. We play music, and I usually have a volunteer group there, and it's just really fun. But and so the idea behind the store was to help. I mean, we recognize that if you are coming to school full time, you're probably not working. And if you are everybody that has a kid will say it's really expensive, right? But if you're a young mom and you have a child and you haven't saved any money yet because you're 15 and you are coming to school full time, so you're not working, you're not probably earning a lot of money. And so there can be a lot of unmet need. And so this store is, to kind of help alleviate some of that burden, some of that financial burden, some of that unmet need. And then it's also, an incentive piece. And so some of the stuff in there, because it, costs baby bucks, then we can use it as an incentive. And it works pretty well as an incentive. I think people are really excited about the stuff that's down there, which is a testament to kind of the quality of the donations.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't just attendance to get baby bucks. There was respect, and there was a bunch of
yeah.
Square. Yeah.
Really good memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The teachers would say that they're exhibiting respect or whatever.
Yeah.
I forget all of them.
So we also have community values, CPR squared. It's community, potential, respect, and responsibility. And so and we have these little tickets, and they can use those to buy kind of smaller things, like wipes can be purchased with CPR squared tickets, or makeup or lotion, or that kind of stuff can be purchased with CPR squared. And it's so funny, some of our young moms will have just a cache of baby bucks. And I'm like, oh, awesome, you're here all the time. And I don't know if she's here all the time, and so her teacher feels like she's great already. I don't know, but usually she doesn't have the same amount of CPR square tickets. And then there's another mom who will have like stacks of CPR square tickets. And I'm like, wow, great. You have great relationships with your teachers. It's pretty funny, like the difference that they'll come shopping with. But yeah, the Baby Buck store is it's a big place that we utilize volunteer support because as you can imagine, it takes a lot of time and energy to go through all the donations and like put them out on hangers and out on racks. And you know, it's just kind of, I would say on average, we get like a bag of clothes a day, which is awesome, really, really phenomenal. And we, you know, our young moms take them and, you know, that's great. And their family advocates, they come shopping twice a month, but their family advocates can take them down at any other time. And so if they, you know, if there's something that they need, or if there's something that their child needs, or if their ECE teacher is noticing that they, you know, might need some more clothes, they can go down and get some clothes for the babies. So it's probably, you know, one of our like greatest like physical resource spaces on campus. And you have a question?
No, I didn't. So thank you so much. I mean, there's just so much. But before I jump in, I do want to say, because I can't believe we forgot two of the biggest things. But for Baby Bucks, I mean, we almost forgot the health clinic, which is like the biggest. But for Baby Bucks, we almost forgot it too. And the students in our strategic planning are actually reporting that that's the #1 incentive that's getting them to campus. So what you're providing is the number. I mean, our family advocates were just heartbroken when they heard that statistic, right? Like, I support you, like you know, but no, they weren't, they understand. But so just know that that really is, you know, how we're getting students to campus, because they really do feel that struggle between providing for their families and making a better lives for themselves. So it's so great when we can do both. For the Baby Bucks, it's all through donations for you all, but for our health clinic. So we actually have a Denver Public School, school-based health center. So about 5 years ago, Denver Health rolled out this idea to provide funding for schools to have on-site health clinics. We at FlowCrit heard about the program a little bit late, and we just built this gorgeous new high school. We just expanded our early childhood education center, and then we were like, we're the campus that needs this health center, right? We have young children, we have moms, we have pregnant women on campus. I mean, we need this health clinic. So Denver Health graciously agreed with us. They said, you know, that is so true. They said, if you guys can come up with the funding to provide the physical space for the health clinic, we will provide the operating expenses for the clinic. We had just gone through a capital campaign and raised like $2 or $3 million. So how do you go back to your donors and say, sorry guys, you know, yeah, we need to let you know. So one of our amazing board members, she's actually a pediatrician herself, Dr. Alethea Lee Morgan. She stepped up and she provided the funding so that we could build the location. And now Denver Health is providing the funding so that these students can walk in on campus and be seen for minor health treatment things. Whether that student has insurance of their own or not, they're walking in, they're being seen, they're being treated, they're not leaving with a bill. A bill is never coming in the mail to them, and they know, so we know that they're going in right when they are experiencing symptoms. So they're able to like diagnose and treat strep throat, ear infections, you know, all those basic things that are happening all the time with kids, right? And can take a lot of time and money out of your schedule if you're needing to take a bus across campus, across town to get to the doctor for a 2-hour meeting, and then you're missing school all day. We are really excited that Delta Dental just gave us a $300,000 grant to put in a dental suite into our health campus. As many of you probably know, oral health is so, you know, indicative of entire body health. So where we were previously able to offer some preventative care, now we're going to be the only school-based health center in Denver that's offering both preventative care and then those basic restorative care. So like cavities, cleanings, things like that for students. Of course, like not root canals or any major surgery or anything, but it's just going to be a huge step for some of our students. I think we were maybe naively a little bit shocked at how excited the students were that they would be seeing dental professionals. But then when you realize that some of these students have never seen a dentist in their life and that they're just so excited that, that they're gonna, be able to give that to their children, like that, is yeah, sorry, I don't know. Sorry.
But I think on that one of the things that's awesome about not only about the campus but about the school-based health center in particular, and I think the ECE, those two spaces are incredible spaces for our young moms to kind of like learning lab life in a judgment-free area. So that whole thing of learning how to interact with your kid's teacher, I think if you're a young mom and you're showing up to preschool or whatever, and all the other parents are 15 years older, you might feel out of place. When you're a young mom and you're showing up and all the parents are your peers and you have a really good relationship with your child's teacher, and you can, and I think I'll let Lindsay kind of like maybe fill in with this, but that's huge. When you talk to a lot of our young moms, a big reason that they didn't want to, or that they weren't going to the doctor, insurance obviously, transportation obviously, but a lot of it was that was a space where they felt a lot of judgment. And when they can go to the clinic and see Linda and Elizabeth, people that they know really well and who are on campus every single day, and who are going to be able to provide medical advice and support and treatment and all of that without any judgment and with complete understanding and out of like this place of support and love, that's huge. And so that helps to create good experiences and like set patterns so our moms know how to advocate for themselves and how to advocate for their kids and like all of the stuff that we all need to learn how to do, and they just have to learn how to do it, sooner and faster.
Yeah, definitely. So as I said, I graduated back in 2013. My daughter at the time, she attended from about 4 months to just past 3. She's now 8, and I can't believe it. She's going to be 9 in May. But it definitely set the structure for her school career. Like I said, she's in 3rd grade, but she's reading at a 4th, almost 5th grade reading level. She's, 100 words a minute and a 95% retention. And I definitely credit that to the education she received in the Early Childhood Education Center, but also the education that I received from Crit, from the parenting classes that I took. I never realized the importance of, I guess at 15, I didn't realize the importance of reading to a 4-month-old. You don't really understand that that's time that they're developing language and connecting with you and bonding with you. So I definitely think the support outside of the high school aspect of it, understanding that we are all parents and that is our #1 priority, but we're also trying to educate ourselves to be better and to be productive in whatever we decide to do. Crit has changed my life twice. I started back in August of 2017 as the administrative assistant, and I've now moved up a notch to the development assistant. So it's life-changing for me. I'm in a career at 24 years old, and I'm happy. I'm stable. I don't feel like I'm crazy anymore trying to get to work and find childcare and everything. And it wouldn't have happened without my mom, my boyfriend, and Crit. So.
Anybody else? Any questions? I don't want to miss anybody. All right, well, we know that we want to thank these guys for their awesome presentation. I want you all to know, you probably have seen it, but on our windows into Fellowship Hall, I have just typed up their general needs. It's not like a specific, it's not like take a card and bring a stroller or anything. It's just anything that they need, anything you can help with. There's a bin by the front door. It's the left of the two bins as you're looking at them, where you can bring your donations. We're going to collect through Easter, and then we're going to deliver to them. We're going to get a group together to deliver to them after that. And have a tour.
Yes, thank you.
So, and then I just want to give you a quick announcement about next Wednesday, and then we're going to have Paul close us in prayer. So because of the cyclone bomb of a storm the first week, we had to cancel the children's chorale that was going to come and sing. And so next week, we're going to have Don Messer talking during the soup supper. So during soup in Fellowship Hall, Don is going to speak to us there about his work in Africa and all over with kids. And then we'll come in here at 6:45, and the Colorado Children's Chorale will be here to perform for us. So 2 for 1 next week. All right, so first of all, thank you guys so much. That was so informative. And I know you have brochures.
Thank you. Oh,
yeah.
I've seen at the back.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay.
Yeah,
And Casey will stand in the back with brochures when you leave, that she'll have a little more information. So, Paul.
All right, if we could all just bow our heads in prayer. Dear God, we give thanks to you this evening for the company of Teresa, Casey, and Lindsay. We give thanks for the witness they have provided, the information they have provided, and we just always know that to be blessed is to be a blessing. And we know that you bless those that are a blessing, and Florence Crittenton High School and the surrounding service support is a blessing. And we give thanks that we have the opportunity to come alongside them, as we know that you come alongside them. So be with us in this place, be with us as we go out, and be with us as we continue to collect supplies for this wonderful support service, this wonderful, we'll call it a ministry because it is a ministry, and we know that your hand is upon us and upon them, and as we are in this place and as we go out of this place. In your name always, amen.